Okay, this is a reaction video. Something important that you've told someone, but they refuse to believe you. I'm kind of curious about this one. I don't have no idea what these things are going to be like. It's the first time I've ever seen this, so I'm just going to react to it and see what this is.
What is something important that you've told someone but they refuse to believe you? I'll go.
When I was in college, I was constantly telling people that I couldn't breathe, that I felt like I couldn't take a deep breath or get enough air. And that went on for quite a while. And then one day I was at the grocery store and I felt like I was having a heart attack. So I called 911 and the paramedics got there and they didn't believe me. They said I was just having an anxiety attack because I was too young. There was no way I was having a heart attack. And I still couldn't breathe and I was freaking out and I was having anxiety at that point. But come to find out, after they refused to take me to the hospital, I went to the doctors on my own time and I had a collapsed lung. So I couldn't.
You know, why would you not believe someone if they tell you they're not breathing? That makes no sense to me. Especially if you call, if they take the time to call 911. And we're not talking about someone who's calling 911 because McDonald's won't serve them chicken McNuggets. We're talking about someone who can't breathe. Okay, why don't you, at the very least, it would seem to me, take them to the hospital and have them checked out by a medical professional? Okay, say she's telling you she can't breathe, so take her to the doctor. Let them make that determination. Okay, she has a collapsed lung. That explains it. But they didn't. That's incredible that they wouldn't believe you. And please, know, that's incredible.
Couldn't breathe.
What is something important that you've told someone but they refuse to believe you? I got a good one for this. Stick around if you have older siblings too.
I have older siblings.
I have an older brother who slipped on a sheet of ice when we lived in Montana. Cracked the back of his head, gave him a super severe concussion. So later on in life, when he needed glasses, nobody questioned it. Fast forward to my 8th grade year. One of my friends comes to school one day with glasses. You know, everybody does that thing where you try them on, and everybody's like, oh my god, I can't see anything. But then I put them on, and the world snaps into clarity. Like the trees at the back of the soccer field had leaves. Leaves! Absolutely blew my mind. I asked my friend to wear them the rest of the day. Suddenly, I could see everything on the whiteboards. I was so excited to go home and tell my mom. Anybody with older siblings know where this is going? Yeah, she told me that I just wanted to be like my brother. Fast forward to my sophomore year of high school, when they do the vision and hearing test in school, I go in for my vision test. There's a projector with a little white square on it. The person asked me, which way is the E facing? And I say, what E? They sent an official letter home. Yeah, my mom really ate her words. What is...
That's interesting because, you put on the glasses, you can see, it's amazing you have the same prescription as the other person who had the glasses, and you can see everything. But how does your mom know what you can see, you can and can't see? And yeah, I have an older sibling, but I've never been accused of wanting to be like him. But okay.
Something important that you've told someone but they refuse to believe you.
I'm going to try to sum this up, but I'm telling it because people have actually not believed me. Basically, when I was 13 years old, my parents let me go fly alone to Turkey with a family friend who was only 15 at the time. We get on our second plane from Toronto to Istanbul. Right as we're lifting off, our tire pops and the plane shakes side to side. First we were like, this is not too bad, until the pilot comes on and says, we're gonna have to take a 2-hour detour. I'm just watching Jupiter ascending, letting things happen the way they're happening. We were right in front of the emergency exit. We were sitting in front of the emergency exit, and the hostess was like, if you see fire, there's gonna be fire trucks, police. If you see fire, make sure don't grab anything, make your way out. She was just giving us emergency instructions. Also,
yeah, just making you aware, trying to let you know that everything's going to be all right, and that's not life threatening. I get that. Calming it down before anybody starts to panic.
so our masks fell down because some lady tried to leave the plane midair. She had a fear of flight. When we were about to land, some lady in the back starts chanting, brace yourself, while we're in that position. And the whole plane chanted that as we landed. We all clapped and they gave us $20 for almost dying, which you couldn't use even anywhere. I have a video somewhere, but I don't know.
What is something important?
Okay, and I believe you when you tell me that story. I have no reason to doubt you, but nobody believed that story. Is that what? I guess I didn't. People still don't believe that you almost died on an airplane. That's, okay. I mean, the only problem I ever had in an airplane one time, flying into Atlanta, we were landing gear came down. You could hear the wheels coming down, like you do when you're about ready to land, and then it just took right back off right after we landed. We were on the ground for maybe 3 or 4 seconds before the plane took back off and then circled around and came back and then actually did the actual landing. And nobody said anything to us. The pilot didn't come over the intercom. And the only thing I could guess is that as we were landing, another plane was in our path, and that we had to take back off and till it was clear. Um, it does happen. I wasn't. Yes, I did. Nobody explained it to us. We just everybody just landed again. Nobody asked. If anybody asked any questions, I didn't hear them, and we just walked into the terminal and did what we had to do. But I don't think I would doubt somebody who told me that.
Right, that you've told someone, but they refuse to believe you.
So when I was like 4 or 5 years old, my mom comes to pick me up from daycare, and I tell her, I'm like, Mommy, I have a rock in my ear. And she's like, what? It's like, I have a rock in my ear. And she's like, let me see. And so she lays me down and she's looking in my ear and she's like, I don't see anything. I was like, no, Mommy, I have a rock in my ear.
Dr. Mom.
She's like, no, you don't. So a few months
Dr. Mom has made her diagnosis. There's no rock in your ear.
go by, and I'm in the back seat in my car seat, and one of her friends is sitting in the back with me. And I look at her and I go, I have a rock in my ear. And she's like, Lori, does Kayla have a rock in her ear? My mom's like, no, she doesn't have a rock in her ear. And so she's like, let me see a light. And she looks down in my ear and she's like, no, there's a rock in her ear, Lori. So they had to take me to the emergency room to get a rock removed from my ear because earwax had grown all over it because my mother did not believe me that there was a rock in said ear.
That's interesting. Like I said, I have a similar story to that one moment.
So yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, I imagine it was. My brother was complaining about his arm, and he said it hurt, and he said he think it might be broken. My mother was like, "No, it's not broken." My mother was a nurse, and she no, it's not broken. And brother kept complaining, and so my mom finally said, "Okay, look, if I'm going, I'll tell you, I'll go to the hospital, but there's nothing wrong with you." Then give him that spiel, even though my mom wasn't going to beat him or anything like that. I don't want you to get that impression. But she's like, I'm going to go into the hospital. She takes my brother to the doctor, and he comes out. He says, he has a broken arm. And my mom starts laughing because, like I said, she was sure it wasn't, but it turns out it was. And she was like, you, and we laugh about it to this day. But yeah, similar thing happened. My mom didn't believe it, and turned out he actually had a broken arm.
What is something important that you've told someone, but they refuse to believe you?
Okay, so if you know my parents, don't call them out, don't text them, don't tell them I told anyone. But in 4th grade, I had excruciating pain to the point I couldn't sleep. It was like a burning and aching. I could barely walk on it sometimes. It was so painful. I told my parents, and my mom didn't really believe me because obviously I was that child that always wanted to have popsicle sticks on her hand to have an injury, to have attention, whatever. She took me to the doctor. The pediatrician told me it was just growing pains, nothing, no big deal. 2 years later, my pediatrician goes on vacation. It also happens to be the time when my class goes on a hike. I woke up the next morning and could not walk at all. No matter how hard I tried, I could not put any pressure on my leg without it just collapsing. I'm gonna need to do a part 2. Part 2. Just to clarify, the pain started in 3rd grade. I didn't say anything because obviously, I don't know, it wasn't that bad. 4th grade, the pain happened, and then 5th grade is when we went to the doctors and my pediatrician was on vacation. The fill-in pediatrician sent me for an x-ray. No one had ever sent me for an x-ray before. My mom and I leave the
One would have thought that would have been the logical thing to do in the first place, is just do the x-ray.
hospital, and he calls within 10 minutes, which I've never gotten an x-ray.
Yeah, I'm not a doctor by any stretch of the imagination, but like I said, if there's a problem with you can't walk, and send it for an x-ray. And if you can't find anything, send it for an x-ray.
Back that fast. And he is like, we need to have you come back. There is a tumor that is about to break your bone open in your leg. I'm like, What? So we obviously are sent to Boston Children's Hospital and I think Dana-Farber, and had all these biopsies. The tumor was removed twice. It spread to my leg, and now I've been in remission, I think, I don't even know, for a couple years. But yeah, that's why I'm crazy about my son's medical stuff. I'd rather be safe than sorry.
That's exactly how you should be. Look, I'll give you a personal story. This was last year. Um, I for whatever reason wasn't feeling very well when I was going to work, and uh, something I don't always do. I called and I said I'm what I'm going to do is just go. They're not feeling very well. I'll just go to the urgent care, get some antibiotics. I called my boss at work, so I wanted to be in. I went there. He took a look at me, and he basically sent me over to a different hospital. They did a scan on me, and they found I had a tumor growing on my kidney. And make a long story short, I had to go get surgery and get that tumor removed, and it was cancerous. And I'm going to be going actually in a couple of weeks to the doctors to make sure I'm still cancer free. But yeah, that that's amazing. Yeah, exactly what you should be doing. Okay, if your son is hurt, don't better safe than sorry. I agree 100%.
What is something important that you've told someone but they refuse to believe you?
That there really is an afterlife. Mediumship is real. We really do go on beyond this physical reality. This is just one of many, many realities. There's no one religion that has it all correct. And you don't need to go through one religion to get into the afterlife. And whether or not you believe in any religion or an afterlife or not, surprise, it's going to happen anyway. I've had lots of souls come through readings that are very evidential, that never believed in anything religious, and those who come through that were incredibly religious and are surprised to be able to come through a medium. And what we do here does matter. How we interact with one another matters. How we live our life matters.
Now, I can't really speak to that a whole lot, okay, because I have no experience with that. Everybody has their own beliefs. I respect everybody's beliefs. Whatever you believe is your belief. And if there is an afterlife, if there is a place we go to, if our soul moves on, then so be it. But yeah, I'm not going to say this person is wacky. I'm not going to say this person is 100% correct because I don't know. But whatever you believe, whatever you think is true, then hey, more power to you. Right on.
What is something important that you've told someone but they refuse to believe you?
Don't know where to start with this one because it's a catalogue of stuff I used to tell the mother figure. And I always got accused of attention seeking, but this one sticks in my mind the most.
That seems to be the mom thinks that they're trying to seek attention, but in actuality, it's not. Better safe than sorry.
Since about the age of 8, I've been telling her and telling her and telling her I can't see properly, everything's blurry, and I got accused of attention seeking.
Yeah, how the hell would they know? They can't see through your eyes.
And it wasn't until my first year at high school, the geography teacher noticed I was really struggling to see the board. And she tackled her and said, look, if you don't take your daughter to get her eyes assessed, I'm going to organise it through the school. So I reluctantly got taken to the opticians. He assessed my eyes. I am incredibly short-sighted. And he then sat her down in the chair, put the glasses on her so that with the lenses in, so that she would see how I saw the world, and then blasted her. This child shouldn't even be crossing the road on her own. Why have you not brought it to me sooner, you stupid woman?
I don't know that I would say that to a patient's mother, okay? But at the very least, I would have said, hey, if I would have shown, if somebody would have shown my mother like that and then called her, said that to her, that would have been, there would have been hell to pay. It's something you don't say to a customer in any way, shape, or form. But what you do say to them is that, hey, this is what they've been looking at. This is what you think, what this person sees, and then you go from there.
Oh yeah, that felt good. 11-year-old me was very happy that day.
Yeah, I'm happy you were happy, but I don't think you should talk to somebody's mother like that. Okay, that was interesting. What was something that important that you told someone but they refused to believe you? And there's quite a few interesting things in there, but most of it seems to come from they think they're trying to seek attention. Okay, now the other thing we don't know about some of these things, do these people have a history? Because these were kids. Some of these stories when they were kids, they had a history of telling fibs or telling lies. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. Who knows? But when you're talking about something like that, and I have experience with talking about my brother, what happened with him. If something is wrong, if something doesn't feel right, you should press the matter until you get satisfaction. Okay, tell the doc. It would have made more sense that once or they've done the X-ray. Fortunately, the pediatrician assistant who was the pediatrician who was out of town, the other person did the X-ray and they got rid of the tumor and she's been in remission. That's thank God for that. But yeah, that was quite interesting, quite illuminating. Okay, thanks for watching. Please click like and subscribe, and hope we do more of these because most of the things I have done have been the stupid things Americans have said. But maybe this is a little bit different. I want to see. I want to branch out and do different things. Please let me know in the comments below what are the things I should be looking at. But thanks very much, and like I said, please click the like and subscribe. And I enjoyed this one.